Have you ever sat alone, staring at your phone, waiting for a message that never came? Your chest feels tight. Your brain won't stop spinning. You ask yourself, why did she leave? What did I do wrong? But what if I told you? She's not holding the answer you're looking for, because closure isn't something she gives. It's something you create. Let's slow this down. You cared about her, didn't you? You gave your time, your attention, maybe even your heart. And now she's quiet. She's gone. She's just gone. No big speech, no clear goodbye, just silence, like a door slowly closing while you're still standing in the room. You want to know the truth? That pain in your chest, that ache? That isn't just heartbreak. It's your mind begging for answers that may never come. But here's the secret most men never hear. You don't need her final words. You don't need her to explain herself. And you definitely don't need to keep chasing a ghost. Because a Stoic man doesn't chase closure. He chooses peace. Peace isn't flashy. It doesn't come with a big moment or a dramatic goodbye. Peace is quiet. It's calm. It's you sitting with your thoughts and not letting them drown you. It's when you say, I don't know why she left, but I know I'll be okay. Now that is real power. You see, closure is like trying to catch the wind. You run and run and run, but it slips through your fingers every single time. That's what happens when you chase someone else for answers. But peace is yours. Right here, right now. When you decide to stop chasing and start owning your story, look around. The world wants men to beg, to plead, to get on their knees and say, please, just tell me why. But not you. You're not built to beg. You're not here to break. You're here to build. Build strength. Build purpose. Build your next chapter. And guess what? When a woman senses that you don't need her words to stand strong, that you've made peace without her closure, that's when she feels it. Regret, respect, curiosity, all mixed together. Because a man who walks away with calm is a man who haunts her more than any tear ever could. Silence isn't weak. It's power she doesn't expect. What if I told you the quietest thing you do can become the loudest sound in her mind? Not a text, not a call, not a speech, just your absence. That's right. Your silence can hit her harder than anything you say. Most men panic when she grows cold. They rush in. They explain. They chase. They try to fix everything, like it's all on them. But you're not most men. You're a Stoic man. And that means you know when to step back. Not to play games. Not to make her jealous. But because you value peace over noise. Think about this. When you go quiet, not angry, not bitter, just calm, it makes her wonder. Did I lose him? Why isn't he fighting for me? Was he stronger than I thought? That's not manipulation. That's mystery. And mystery makes her feel something she didn't expect. Confusion, curiosity, intrigue. But here's the twist. She didn't expect you to have that power. She thought you'd fold. She thought you'd beg. She thought you needed her to feel whole. And now, you're not saying a word. You're just living. You're in your purpose. You're building. You're focused. You've stopped reacting and started leading. This changes the entire game. Because when you don't chase, you shift the weight of emotion back to her. Now she's the one replaying old memories. Now she's the one refreshing her messages. Now she's wondering what went wrong and why she no longer has that grip on you. And here's the beautiful part. Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to not fight for someone who's not showing up for you. You don't argue with disrespect. You don't chase confusion. You remove yourself and you let your silence say it all. Every second you're not chasing. Every minute you're not reacting. You grow stronger. You grow deeper. You grow more attractive. Because you're no longer trying to prove yourself to her. You're proving something much bigger to yourself. Him. The one who stands still becomes the one she can't forget. What if doing nothing made her feel everything? Sounds strange, right? But listen closely, because this is where boys chase and men attract. Most guys, they spin in circles. They overthink. They check their phone 20 times an hour, hoping she finally texts. But you've become still. You've stopped dancing for her attention. And in doing that, you've started something way more powerful. Stillness. That's where a Stoic man lives. Not frozen, not weak, but centered. Like a mountain during a storm. Why does that matter? Because while she's sending mixed signals, hot one day, cold the next, you stay unshaken. You don't argue. You don't chase. You don't fall into her emotional maze. You breathe. You build. You grow. And guess what? Stillness makes her spin. She starts asking questions inside her own head. Why didn't he react? Is he mad or just done? Did I lose someone rare? And that's when something wild happens. She begins to feel what you used to feel. The ache, the doubt, the need for answers. But now, she doesn't get any. Not because you're punishing her, but because you've moved on from needing her to feel whole. You've turned your silence into your strength. You've made peace your power. Let her wonder. Let her feel the quiet. Because in that space, she'll either realize your value or she'll drift away, making room for someone who already sees it. You're not stuck anymore. You're standing tall, still, stoic, solid, and that makes you unforgettable. She can try to ignore you, but she'll never forget how calm you stayed when her games failed. The stiff against your purpose is the fire she can't touch. but feels burning? What if she stopped being the center of your world and you became the center of your own? Now that changes everything. Let's be real. Most men make this huge mistake. They chase her like she's the prize, like she is their mission, like she is the reason they wake up in the morning. But guess what happens when you do that? She loses interest. She pulls away. Because deep down, she doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to join a man who already has one. When your life is full of goals, missions, and passion, something magical happens. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop hoping she throws you crumbs of affection. Because you're busy. Busy building. Busy leveling up. Busy becoming the man you were meant to be. That energy, that fire you carry when you're focused, she can feel it. Even if you're silent. Even if you're not texting. Even if you're gone for weeks. She wonders, where is he? What's he doing? Why do I feel left behind? You've flipped the game, not by playing it, but by leaving it. Here's the truth most men never hear. The man who chases a woman loses her. But the man who chases his destiny makes her want to chase him. Why? Because now you're rare. You're not staring at your phone. You're not waiting on her message. You're not shrinking your world down just to fit her in. You've made your life bigger, stronger, brighter. She sees it. She feels it. And deep down, it shakes her because she can't control you. And the truth is, that's exactly what draws her in. So don't lose yourself just to keep her. Find yourself and watch who comes looking for you. The calm man controls the storm. What if I told you, the man who speaks the least in the heat of the moment is usually the one who holds the most power? Strange, right? But wait till you feel this truth hit. Ever been in a situation where she's mad, throwing little tests, changing moods fast, 1 minute warm, next minute cold, and inside you feel the pressure, the urge to fix it, to explain yourself, to do something. But what if you didn't? What if you stayed calm, still, unmoved, not cold, not rude, just calm, like a mountain that doesn't shake when the wind blows? That's what a Stoic man does. You see, women don't test your words, they test your emotions. She wants to feel your center, to know if you're stable, if you can hold space when things get messy, if you can breathe through the storm and not fall apart. Because if she can rock your emotions with one cold look or a silent treatment, you've already lost. When you're calm, she feels safe. When you're still, she leans in. When you're quiet, she listens harder. That silence, that slow, steady breath, that's your aura speaking louder than any words could. But if you start chasing, begging, exploding, overreacting, you become like every other guy she's tested before. Forget that. Be different. Be rare. Be stoic. Because here's the truth. Women don't want to lead. They don't want to be the stronger one. They want to feel your strength, not just see it. And true strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's patient. It's still. That's the man she can't forget. That's the man she respects. That's the man she tells her friends about. The one she couldn't shake, no matter how hard she tried. Why your distance speaks louder than your words. She keeps checking her phone, but you haven't texted. She wonders where you are, but you're nowhere to be found. Suddenly you're not chasing, you're not proving, you're just gone. And guess what? Now you're the one on her mind. There's something strange about silence. It gets louder the longer it lasts. And when you stop showing up every second, she starts asking, why isn't he running after me like the rest? That's the power of distance. Not to play games, not to punish, but to live, to focus on your world, to build your life, to pour into your goals, your mind, your purpose. That's not pulling away. That's stepping up for yourself. Most men smother. They overgive. They become too much too fast. But the Stoic man, he knows that less is more. Your absence creates mystery. Your silence builds value. Your space makes her reach. She can't crave what's always there. She can't miss what never leaves. And she can't desire a man who desires her more than himself. When you disappear, not out of fear, but out of purpose, you give her a chance to feel the weight of your absence. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you're hard to reach. Because you're building something bigger than her approval. She starts to replay your last words. She starts to miss the calm in your voice. She starts to notice how quiet it feels without your presence. And that's when you become unforgettable. Not by chasing, not by begging, but by becoming rare. So next time you feel the urge to over-explain, to reach out just to feel seen, to remind her you're still here, don't. Let your absence speak. Let your life be the loudest answer. Confidence she can feel before you even speak, before you say a word, before you text good morning, before you even look her way. She already knows what kind of man you are. How? Because real confidence can be felt. It's in your silence. It's in the way you walk into a room. It's in the way you don't chase, don't beg, don't flinch. She doesn't need to hear your voice to feel your power. She sees it. She senses it. She feels it. But here's the twist. Confidence isn't loud. It's not about showing off muscles or cars or bragging about your job. It's calm. It's quiet. It's solid. Like a mountain that doesn't move when the wind blows. Like a lion that doesn't roar unless it has to. That's you. When you walk with purpose, she notices. When you speak with meaning, she listens. When you don't need her, that's when she starts to want you. Not because you're acting cold, but because you're already complete. You're not a half waiting for a half. You're not begging for a piece of attention. You're a full man with a full life. And that, right there, is what pulls her in. Most guys try too hard to look confident. But the Stoic man, he becomes confident by doing hard things alone. He builds his life. He takes the hits. He stands tall when things get messy. And he doesn't need applause to keep going. That's where the glow comes from. That's what she sees, even in silence. So next time you think, I need to prove myself so she sees I'm enough, remember this. Confidence isn't something you show off. It's something you carry. And the world, especially her, feels it before you ever say a word. The secret power of staying calm when she isn't. What if I told you, the moment she yells, tests you, or throws emotional confusion your way, is actually your chance to win, not by fighting back, not by trying to explain, not by begging her to stop, but by doing something so rare, so powerful, most men don't even realize it's a weapon. Staying calm. See? When she's all over the place, hot then cold, sweet then distant. It's easy to think you did something wrong. It's easy to chase her with answers. It's easy to try to fix it. But that's exactly what she expects you to do. She wants to see, will you lose your cool? Will you break your frame? Will you fold just to keep her happy? But a Stoic man, he doesn't move like that. He doesn't shake when she storms out or goes quiet for 3 hours. He breathes. He pauses. He keeps his peace. Why? Because his value doesn't come from how she treats him today. It comes from within, from knowing who he is. And that drives her crazy in the best way. Women test to feel something real. They want to feel your strength, not just in your body, but in your emotions. They push to see, is this man grounded? Can he stay solid when I throw fire at him? Will he stay calm, even when I can't? And when you pass that test, not with words, but with stillness, you rise above every other man she's ever known. Here's what you do next time it happens. She flips out, you don't. She goes cold, you stay warm but detached. She plays the silent game, you play the peace game. And slowly, quietly, she starts to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time. Safety, because your calm becomes her safe space. Your peace becomes more attractive than any gift, text, or apology. Your silence is a puzzle her heart wants to solve. What if the loudest thing you ever said to her was said without words? Sounds strange, right? But silence, when used by a man who knows his value, becomes louder than any message, any compliment, any I miss you. It becomes a mystery, a magnetic force, a whisper that pulls her mind back to you, even when she tries to move on. You see, most men panic when she pulls away. They blow up her phone. They send paragraph texts. They try to fix what they don't understand. But the Stoic man, he doesn't do that. He doesn't chase. He doesn't explain. He doesn't try to prove he's worth it. Why? Because he knows the most dangerous and attractive move a man can make is to become a blank space in her story. She doesn't know if you're thinking about her or building something bigger without her. She wonders if she lost you, or if you simply don't play the old games anymore. That silence, it's powerful. It says, I am not begging for love. I am not waiting for your approval. I am not confused. I am focused. Here's the twist. The more she feels that calm space from you, that emotional distance, the more her mind starts to fill in the blanks. What's he doing right now? Why hasn't he reached out? Did I mess up? Suddenly she's replaying the last thing you said. Suddenly she's rereading your messages. Suddenly she's craving a response from a man who said nothing. That's how you flip the script. Not by force, not by begging, but by being less, so she feels more. And the best part? You're not doing it to trick her. You're not using silence like a weapon. You're just living your life, building your purpose, choosing peace over chasing. And that, my brother, is rare. So rare that it sticks in her head like a question with no answer. Get ready for the final stage. Because what you'll learn next is how to walk away without closing the door. So she keeps checking to see if it's still open. Let's finish this strong. Stay focused. Stay free. Undecisibles. Leave the door slightly open and let her wonder. What if the most powerful goodbye was the one that didn't slam the door? What if instead of closing things forever, you left just enough space for her curiosity to crawl back in? Not because you're waiting, not because you're weak, but because you understand the power of an open ending. See, here's what most men do. They either chase until they're empty, or they slam the door shut in anger, trying to move on in a storm of hurt. But the Stoic man, he doesn't do either. He walks away, calmly, with quiet strength, with peace in his eyes and purpose in his steps. And when he leaves, he doesn't burn bridges. He doesn't leave hate behind. He doesn't give her a dramatic exit to talk about. He leaves with dignity. He leaves with class. And he leaves with just enough silence to let her imagination take over. That's the move that makes her think. That's what lingers in her heart. She wonders, does he still think of me? Would he even take me back? Why does his absence feel louder than my presence? And now, you flip the script completely. She's not the one walking away anymore. You are. She's not the one deciding how this ends. You are. But here's the real power. You didn't do it for attention. You did it for peace. You understood something she didn't. That a man who knows himself doesn't need a big ending. He doesn't need fireworks. He doesn't need closure. Because his life is already full, with or without her. That's the final lesson, brother. You are not here to chase. You are not here to prove anything. You are here to build, to lead, to live. If she joins you, good. If she walks away, still good. Because the door you keep open is not just for her. It's for whoever's meant to walk through it. And most of all, it's for you. To walk back into your power. To walk back into your focus. To walk back into your peace.